I got a new haircut. I don't really know how I feel about it right now. Doom the Dark Ages is different. I think it says something bigger about Microsoft. So I had a plan for this, right? Life happened, but I had a plan. The plan was to play this pretty epic looking game, the sequel to two of my favorite games of all time, one of which I felt comfortable enough using as a basis to get comfortable with making videos, a journey I'm still on. And I got my Game Pass, I got my Xbox, I got my recording on, I had time, and here we go. And something just felt off. Oh, okay. Well, let's check how everyone else felt about this.
Oh my goodness!
Something was wrong. I wasn't super hyped for this game. In general, I know Doom has the curse of 3. I get it. Honestly, after Cyberpunk, I don't really get hyped for games anymore. I knew what I was walking into. Honestly, if the first two weren't 10 out of 10, I probably wouldn't feel this way. It's not a bad game. It's not. There's so many worse games than this. But I don't know. I had a hard time finishing this game, and not because like it was difficult. Like I didn't play it on the highest difficulty setting, but like on paper it should be great. Doom in a medieval setting, swords and magic and stuff. That sounds amazing. And honestly, while playing it, it felt very Diablo-like in a way. Doom Slayer having the skills of a demon hunter and a barbarian, just tearing up these planes. There's all these little crowd control mechanics and stuff. It really reminded me of an ARPG minus like looter shooter like aspects, like actual on the ground ARPG, crowd control, leveling up, stuff like that. But I finished the game, and while the other two games felt like this breath of fresh air, this game felt very modern, and not in a good way. It felt like something was missing. Like it had all the ingredients of something you would like, but wasn't baked right, or the ratio was off. Like it had the ingredients of a cake, but instead of baking it, they just gave you the ingredients of a cake and called it a cake.
You gotta eat a cake. That sounds good.
It's not. You have to eat the ingredients of a cake.
Oh,
Felt like a fan-made mod, and like if one guy or a handful of people made this, it would be wild, but it wasn't. It was made by one of the most legendary studios of all time, released by one of the biggest publishers in the world, who's owned by one of the biggest companies in the world. And this is nothing to take away from the mod community. Look at the things these people have created that really rival like mainstream studios. I know Bethesda dropped Starfield to a resounding fart noise, but I don't know, Doom was clutch. I'm just going to take this moment to say I've never understood the Bethesda thing outside of their Doom reboots, and I know they're just publishing, they're not developing. I always thought y'all Bethesda people were tripping, even back during OG Oblivion. People paid $70 for this, or more, but I couldn't be too sad about it. I played it on Game Pass. I don't even pay full price for these codes, so I got a discount on top of a discount. Am I just too greedy? Is it just never enough? And then it hit me. I feel like this is kind of a piece of a bigger problem. This didn't feel like much of a game. It felt like content. Play stage, finish stage, next stage, no real surprises, rinse, repeat. This is the first Microsoft-produced Game Pass game I've felt like this about. Maybe I missed other ones. I don't know, but I feel like this was, in a way, just content. And I know that might be harsh. This is too good for content. This created a genre. People try to get this franchise to run on calculators. Can it run Doom is a question older than most of the people who still ask it. I've seen this debate online before, and it's not necessarily incorrect that Microsoft is less worried about putting quality games out on Game Pass as much as they're worried about putting out content on there to hold people over until next content can be put out. And in a weird way, it's a noble goal. You should want people consuming content on your platform, but this felt like kind of like a hodgepodge of things that didn't quite go together for me. It felt very, I don't know how hands-on Microsoft was with this. It very much felt like they took stuff from like, oh, like this could be totally incorrect, but like, oh, we're Microsoft. We know that people really like our fantasy stuff. We own Blizzard now, so, Elder Scrolls is big. Skyrim's big, World of Warcraft, Diablo. Like, let's take a lot of like almost some of the things really almost looked like they kind of came from those, and let's just put them into here. and see what happens. Oh, people in Halo, like when you can like fly, drag and drop onto like places, and the level really begins when you dismount. Like it really just felt like Microsoft sifting through things Microsoft owns now for the best bits, blending them together without realizing why people like those things and just putting them out there. Just good enough to finish, not good enough to really care about. Content. But this wasn't a Game Pass game. This went everywhere. Realistically, only PlayStation players are like paying for this, but whatever. Like if you bought this game on PC or Xbox, like if you got like one of the crazy expensive versions I'm looking at right now, like God bless you. But that wouldn't sit right with my spirit. Everything I feel about this game can be summed up with the dragon level. The first dragon level. I was pumped for this level. Everyone was pumped for this level. I mean, look at this. And the vibe is cool, very cool. And then you get there and it's just the same ship design. The secrets extras are all in the same spots, similar amount of enemies. Nothing really surprises you after the second one. Literally on the third ship, I was like, I have to do this one more time. It's just bloated, and it's not the only part of the game that feels this way. Just filler for filler's sake. This game, it's not bad. It's not amazing. It just is. And when you come out of the gate like this, you gotta flex a little harder than that and really shoot for the stars. But content. And what is up with these Gundam levels? No one asked for this. No one wanted to play a Real Steel featuring Iron Man simulator in the Doom engine. You literally just run around and punch and dodge. I don't know. This isn't for me. It's slow. It's clunky. At times it's just silly. I don't know. I expect this out of Japan, not Bethesda. Content. And glory kills. They're here, but they're not. And everyone loved those. I don't know why you took those out. Honestly, the first time an enemy flashed and gave the cue for it, I just kind of bounced them. And I thought I did something wrong or it was a glitch. It really threw me off. For a game that kind of was wearing its brutality and excess on its sleeve, to cut out one of the most on-brand things, like why? Why was the weird kick a better replacement? What is this, 300?
This is Sparta!
After playing this game, it literally makes no sense to me. This game was so close to being a FIFA game with all the kicking I was doing. All in all, the gameplay was much slower this time around, and for that, they give you a shield. And the shield is fine, but I kind of grew to hate it. Not really the shield, but the parry mechanic. You get trained to just look for it the entire game, and by the end of the game, I was just over it. Look for the green beam, knock it, cool, keep going. It definitely took away from the fast and kinetic energy of the first two games. And at least for me, you really had to adapt to the shield or die trying, so it really becomes a necessity. And I don't know, I feel like while it was a creative choice, it made the combat more clunky and less creative. Spent a lot of time playing with that L trigger, you know, pop a few shots, rinse, repeat. A lot of the game has these semi-open world areas where you could just go through the motions, take out a bunch of shield enemies, a few bigger ones will be behind them, wait for the green flash, you're golden. And while we're going on about the shield, let's bring up melee. I already talked about the robot hand-to-hand combat, but I mainly use this. I really like the idea, but you would expect a more brutal game with these brutal weapons. And what is this melee ammo? Like, what even is that? And I know, like, melee ammo is not something that's exclusive to this game, but I don't know. It just felt out of place to me. Something about it, even just calling it that, like, I don't know. I get some of these weapons can be OP, but, like, that's the trade-off of, like, melee weapons. You have to be up close to use them. Like, imagine if they did this in, like, COD or something. You're sneaking up behind someone, instead of knifing them, that little risk-reward balance, you find that you ran out of knife ammo. Like, nah, son. The first-person melee combat is always trash, though. Sorry, Elder Scrolls fans. You know it's true.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
But let's get into the story. I don't know. People feel one of two ways about this. I kind of have an idea of what's going on. It's not like the headiest thing ever. It's just, I don't know. I think what bothers me is they try to show you these characters like doing things and have people in the scene feel a way about it. And it just comes down to like all the power of hell. This whole game, I didn't know where I was going, where I was, what I wanted or what I was doing. I know it's Doom and all. I think it's that they really seem to try to put it a little more front and center, and I'm not really sure why. I know all Doom games are essentially these stages that you just go through. It's been that way since Doom 1, but I don't know. Since this game really pushed the story, it just became a little more obvious that you were just f***ing around somewhere, screen change, end level. To be fair, I don't know. Maybe I'm just burnt out because I just beat Doom 2016 and I didn't let the formula sit for a minute. That could be it. One thing I did like is these weird tentacle alien enemies trying to control Doom guy with this big chubbo kind of flying around. That stuff was cool. That stuff was interesting. Like even Doom 2016, a game that really put story on the back burner if you didn't want it. It just had a little more going for it than this stuff where they're really sitting you down and forcing you to watch these characters and cutscenes. Honestly, the story being chilled in the background is such a better choice for this game. Compare going to the cosmic realm to going to hell for the first time. And replacing Samuel Hayden's voice with that spooky demonic voice, it really sold that you weren't in Kansas anymore. And you got this description of you from like another perspective. And again, I just played 2016 recently. This really stuck out to me, but there's none of that here, just weird cutscenes. Blue stuff. Game has blue stuff. The music is not on standard of the previous two games, and I know that's not a hot take. I could go on all day about that, but honestly, of all the criticisms, I feel like that's the one that's been brought up enough, so we can just move on. But after all that leads me to the art style, art direction, whatever you want to call it. And I gotta say, I loved it, and that's what's kind of a bummer about all this. There is passion here. Some of the settings are just the best that the series has ever done, and that's saying a lot. They really went all out with the art style, like just cranked it. And you don't see a lot of shooters in like any of these settings.
Alert. Unknown entity approaching.
Like, I want to know more about these places. Why am I here? Everything from medieval castles to this weird H.P. Lovecraft world, the scale of everything going on around you. You feel so small yet like an active participant. At times, it's literally amazing. Nothing feels like this. I'm really here for it, but it can only do so much. And it's a shame because some of the sights you see are just straight up breathtaking. Some of these worlds can be the settings for entire games, but just nah. Just pop in, kill some demons, and then like magically portal away. You're just done or whatever. Who cares? Maybe they don't. Because at the end of the day, content. As it is, to the best of my knowledge, Doom the Dark Ages did its job. Was it bloated at times? Yes. Is the combat slower? Yes. Is it interesting enough while feeling like it takes away from other games? Yeah. Is there even less going on in the story than other games despite there being more cutscenes? Yes. Is there an art direction that's breathtaking, tells the story better than the one the game is forcing you to listen to, but doesn't sit with those because it needs to drag you to the next cutscene or semi-open world level to find secrets out in the open? Yes. Did you download it on Game Pass? Yes. Then it did its job. Is it an easy Game Pass download recommendation? Yeah. Is it a $70 purchase?
No.